Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the RDA. This is your Ralf Rangnick press conference reaction. I just came back from casting the Rocket League team. Boys did very proud, so well done to them. If any of you guys also follow my other stuff for the content side. But other than that, let's get straight into it. Let's not waste time. Smash a like on the video. Do subscribe if you are new. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Ralf was asked, first question. Good afternoon, good to see you. In terms of team news, Luke Shaw, Maguire, how they're looking this weekend. Ralf said Harry's back in training. Yeah, oh no. Harry's back in training. Since the second day after the Brentford game, he resumed training. So he'll be available for tomorrow and be part of the group. Fantastic. Cavani is in training. Obviously, he came on as sub. Rashford will be missing. He has caught the bronchitis with high temperatures. Did he though? Did he really? I don't really know about that one. And he said we have a question mark behind Eric Bailly. He called the doctor this morning and had some back problems with his back being checked right now. We'll have to see if he's available to train afterwards. So quite a few players missing. Sadly, Maguire is back. Sadly, Cavani is back. Unfortunately, Bailly is missing, and I'd say Marcus Rashford is a bit 50-50. He was then asked how tough these final two games for you as a manager, and making sure the mindset is right, making sure you push those teams around you right to the end. He says, I think the last two home games, we got 4 points against Chelsea and Brentford. We spoke already about after the Brentford game, and it was one of our best games in possession of the ball. I agree. He said, I'm positive the team will try to play on the same level tomorrow. And that's what I'd hope. That's exactly what I'd hope for, Ralf. So more of that, please, more of that. He was then asked, in terms of your future, we've spoken a lot about your thoughts, but when do you speak to Ten Hag? When do you offer your opinions to the board? When do you give an overview where Manchester United because you only got 2 games left? He said, we will definitely speak at the end of the season. Both Eric and myself want to have our full focus on the outstanding games. He has another 3 games to play and will obviously do everything to win the league in Netherlands. We have agreed we will have a chat and speak about everything at the end of the season. Nothing too wrong there. Ten Hag has a job, like Ralf says. Ralf's got a job to finish, and then after that they will speak. He was then asked, you mentioned there it looked like the players were having fun. Fun is not the word that has been used a lot around Manchester United this season. You get the impression that there's a group who would want to succeed, that would want to improve the situation. He says, I think it was visible against Brentford. I think this was not only my subjective opinion. I think you could see they enjoyed themselves on the pitch. Does not mean everything was perfect, but we were controlling the game. With regard to next season, there'll be some changes, quite obviously, because there are quite a few players whose contracts are expiring, and I think we spoke about that earlier on. Yeah, that's about it, and he just talked about that earlier on. And he was then asked, he talked about some of the players who are out of contract at the end of the season. One of those, Jesse Lingard, who didn't feature on Monday night. His brother said this week that it was classless not to give him one final game at Old Trafford. I wonder what your reaction was to that, and also why he hasn't featured almost at all this year. Only 4 starts across all competitions. Now, obviously, this has been a big news. For what reason, I don't really know. But like I said, with regards to Jesse Lingard, I think, listen, Jesse, he's won us trophies, and he played quite an important factor in winning those recent trophies this year. Over the seasons, we didn't really perform. We didn't really get better, and it just ended like this. But I think, even if you look back, there's been bigger players than Jesse Lingard who haven't been given send-off. So that's just my personal opinion. But Ralf says, to start with, I think the last couple of weeks under my tenure, he has played far more games than he used to before I came, taking a dig at that Ollie there, I would assume. That's to start with. Number 2, on game day against Chelsea, he contacted me in the hotel, asked me to release him from the game and release him from training session following day after 2 days after the Chelsea game for some personal family reasons, and I also allowed him to do that. So Ralf isn't holding back here. This was also the reason with only 3 subs. Still, unfortunately, in all the other leagues, you have 5 subs. I'd had to take the decision between bringing on Cavani or Jesse Lingard or young Garnacho, who I would also love to bring on and give a chance being 3-0 up. But I took the decision to bring on Edison for the very reasons I explained to you. Had I brought on Edison Cavani, maybe someone else would have posted it was classless not to bring on Cavani. Or maybe someone had posted, why didn't the manager bring on young Garnacho? With only 3 subs and 2 already done, the first one had already been done. You have to take the decision. This will not be to the liking of everybody, and it's part of the game. I think Ralf has answered that absolutely spot on from a manager point of view and a professional point of view. He's not holding back. He said everything factual, so fair play with Ralf. I like that answer from him, fair play. How many questions left? 2 questions left. He was then asked, the mood has been mentioned a lot this season with United, but also little things like that from outside the camp. How frustrating and counterproductive has that been? He said, to be honest, I'm not reading a lot. I haven't had the time in the last 6 months to read. I'm not on Instagram, as you know. Facebook, I'm not engaged in those areas, and my focus has always been here. My coaching and staff to develop the team. It's always those days with social media. There's always somebody posting something, and I think it's important for us, anybody at the club, not to take much notice of that. Unless the player himself, then it might be a different story. Basically, saying United social media club, but I myself am not, and we should do our work on the field. And then he was asked one more question about Maguire. You mentioned Harry Maguire is fit and available. Should we expect him to start tomorrow? And he said, this is a decision I have to make after training today. And obviously I don't want to tell our opponents which lineup we are going with to start with, but he'll definitely be a part of the group. Ralf, I hope you mean that means you don't want to start him, because I'd really appreciate that. I think lots of United fans would really appreciate that. I think after seeing Lindelof and Varane play, and especially keeping a clean sheet last week, there is no goddamn evidence and reason to play Harry Maguire. He does not deserve to play for Manchester United. He's not fit enough to wear the armband, and I think as fans of Manchester United, we are all tired of him. So Ralf, brother, please don't select him tomorrow. There's not one good reason you could give me for Harry Maguire starting tomorrow's game. So if we see him, we see him, but ideally I would definitely not like to see Harry Maguire tomorrow. But that's just me in it. So do smash a like on the video, do subscribe if you are new, let me know what you thought of that press conference, and I shall see you all again for match day. Goodbye.